Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. So E.J. Dionne writing about how these Reagan Democrats are going away from the Republicans, this cutting off these characters at the knees. Here's a funny story from, let's see, this is Mayor Tom Barrett of Milwaukee. He says, here's his story. We have a room in which we have a multi-billionaire, a Koch, somebody like this. So we have Koch, we have a Tea Party person, and we have a trade unionist. And there's a plate of 12 cookies. So Koch takes 11 of the 12 cookies, and then he says to the Tea Party freak and the trade unionist, that guy is trying to steal your cookie. Why don't you two fight over the last cookie after he's taken 11 of them? So that's interesting. Now let's get a rundown on the Washington situation. We are moving towards a shutdown of the United States government. Shutdown of the United States government is now due next Friday, April 8th, 1 week from the time that I'm talking to you right now. And this is the reactionary Republicans. This is the Koch brigade. These are the extremists, the right-wingers. We're seeing the Republican Party is the party of chaos, of breakdown, of shutdown, of the public interest be damned, everything for ideology, for lunatic ideology, and everything to follow the orders of the Koch brothers and these other super rich components. And what is this going to mean? I think I've been looking at The Hill, Roll Call, the Politico this week. The effect of this is going to be that the main thing that's going to, I think, the political effect of it is that Social Security checks will not go out. You worked all your life. You paid Social Security tax. There's a social contract. Those are your economic rights. That's 150 years of labor struggles and the New Deal and Franklin D. Roosevelt. But above all, it's the workers and the struggles that got that. The Republicans are going to take away your Social Security checks as soon as they shut down the government. And if you have fought and bled and been maimed in the service of the United States, they're taking away your Veterans Administration benefits also. So I think that's the political reality. Now, of course, the Republicans have the wordmonger, Frank Luntz, or somebody like this, coming in to say, let's not call it a shutdown. Let's just call it a slowdown. Well, a slowdown, a shutdown. The reaction is, once again, you don't get your Social Security check. You don't get your veterans payments. Basic functions are shut down. You will create unemployment because a large part of the federal government will be kicked out for the nonce. There will be 700,000 jobs lost at the moment that that government shutdown comes through. The Republican ideology is all based on this myth that somehow if you lower the borrowing by the federal government, jobs will magically appear. Well, they don't appear. What happens when you lower the spending of the federal government in the Depression, when you've got the private sector buying derivatives and speculating and doing asset stripping and destroying jobs and sending them overseas, you shut down the federal government, you're destroying jobs. Now, this is obviously bad. The Obama White House has been pathetic, cowardly, treacherous. Everybody's saying, where's Obama? Why doesn't he do something, some clout? Well, of course, because he's a Wall Street puppet. Surprise, surprise. A Wall Street puppet. So in the middle of 4 wars, the Republicans will shut down the government. They are the party of chaos and confusion and social breakdown and ungovernability. That is what the Republicans bring. So it won't help to call it a slowdown. That's just a piece of cheap sophistry. Plato writes about this in The Gorgias, that dialogue by Plato. That's a good account of what sophistry looks like. This is already coming now within 1 week. Clinton was politically capable of running the confrontation and defeating Gingrich and those extremists and reactionaries and fascists in those days. Obama, I think, is looking for ways to capitulate. This is about $61 billion of further cuts on top of the cuts the Republicans have already made. and 10 million. But now, the really big one. We're told that the Tea Party caucus, and this includes Senator Mike Lee. He's the guy, remember, the Republican reactionary from Utah who thinks that child labor laws are unconstitutional. He will filibuster any attempt to raise the borrowing debt limit, the debt limit of the Treasury, over $14.3 trillion. This is likely to happen between April 5th and May 15th. So we've got the government shutdown looming on April 8th, a week from today, and perhaps even sooner, although I don't think sooner, rather later. But between April 15th and April 5th and May 15th, we've got the shutdown through default, bankruptcy of the United States for the first time in history. And that will be the leap into hell. That will be the leap into bloody hell for the United States. A total worldwide financial panic, the only thing left standing stable after the crisis of the euro, after the Japanese earthquake and tsunami and everything else. That will then be destroyed. A worldwide financial panic of unimaginable proportions, maybe not immediately, but building up over a period of weeks. This is what these Republican horsemen of the apocalypse are bringing in, and they have got to be fought. Hey, Obama, hey, Trumpka, hey, somebody, where's our general strike? Where are our mass demonstrations? The Greeks can do it, the French can do it, the British can do it, the Irish, and in the United States here, we basically can't do it. So this is now where we're headed. Let's just get some other quotes here on the budget situation. It's not just Lee. We have Senator Jim DeMint, otherwise known as Dement, of South Carolina, Tea Party extremist. Now, this is the guy with the open personal relationship with David Koch of the Koch Brigade in New York, and he is also going to do everything, I think, filibuster to prevent the increase in the debt limit. We have the entire Tea Party caucus, which would be Lee, would be DeMint, it would be the rest of them. I think Rand Paul is also part of this. They want to shut down the United States government, not just through the budget, by a default, a national bankruptcy, something we've somehow been able to avoid. Hitler couldn't drive us into bankruptcy, neither could Stalin, neither could Tojo, neither could Jefferson Davis or the British in the War of 1812 or anybody else. But what the foreign enemies couldn't do, the domestic enemies of the American people are happy to do. And we have Senator Pat Toomey, ever eager to represent the interest of the bondholders first, last, and always, and the American public be damned. Senator Pat Toomey, a Republican of Pennsylvania, has introduced legislation that would require the Treasury to prioritize spending to service the existing debt if Congress does not grant more borrowing authority, writes The Hill. That means, in effect, they want to bankrupt the government, but the bondholders still keep getting paid. You don't get paid. You get nothing. No Social Security, no unemployment benefits if it's coming from the feds, that part of it, no Medicare, no other payments from the Veterans Administration and others. All kinds of domestic contracts would be shut down, tens of millions of new unemployed. But the bondholders, the Chinese that we're hearing so much about, the Chinese and Japanese, thanks to Senator Pat Toomey, the senator from the bondholders, will get paid. So that is a catastrophe looming, and we will be shifting gears and looking into that, because this is going to push the international stuff off the front page as the reactionary and fascistoid Republicans gear up for an assault on the American middle class. Back in a minute.